All right. I'm muting. And we are back once again. Thanks for tuning in to the Still Knick Fans podcast. This is episode number 27. I'm your man, Ron, and that's my brother, John. What's happening, bro?
Oh, you already know. Knicks Summer League. That's what's going on. That's what's popping.
Yeah, man. This is a good time, man. We doing it. They finally playing some ball. Guys are starting to come around. They looking like they real basket. You know what's happening? We went from, I can't believe at 19, man, Knicks could have got this guy to, can you believe they got this guy at 36? It's crazy.
It's true.
New York is a fickle town, man. It's a fickle town.
I'm telling you. And we getting more games in. Like we were just assuming we were just gonna have the 3 and out. We're getting more games in. It's awesome, man, to get a chance to really get a chance to see these young kids play. You know what I mean? And I'll say this: I missed the last game that we had because I had to run some errands and stuff, and I put it to DVR. So I feel like a horrible Knicks fan because I put it to DVR and I was like, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm gonna see it. I'm looking forward to it. I come back, it's not even recording. And it wasn't recorded. And
no,
I'm like, no. And they don't replay back the Knicks. It's like Knicks, some of these you can't get a replay. I'm like, I can't watch a replay. It's ridiculous.
You'd be lucky. I don't with so many games. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know exactly how it all played out the last game. I'm actually catching this game while we're here. I'm kind of visually seeing it, but last game I was like, expecting to see it, but I ended up catching highlights because I wasn't able to, catch it and I didn't record it. So I failed as a New York Knicks fan. I just wanted to say,
hey man, nobody's gonna blame you for anything, bro. Things happen. Things do happen. It happened to me too. I think it was the second game. I thought I had it recorded, and when I went to look at it, I had 46 minutes of it. I said, okay. Well, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But anyway, man, right now, this is one of those interesting days because we're filming like we film every Monday at 8:10. And it just so happens the NBA gave the Knicks another game, and they're playing Atlanta. This is the revenge game, Sharif Cooper. It's not a revenge game.
Applause to the NBA for giving us an extra.
Yeah. Good job, NBA. You know what I think? I think this is because these Knicks rookies are starting to ball out. And plus we've got some explosion on the team, so we're like a good team to watch. So this is pretty
highlights.
Cool.
Highlight the possibilities of seeing some highlights and being on ESPN. It's a real thing,
Exactly.
So at least this
is nice.
Right.
So we got Knicks Summer League going on in the background. We got a special guest. It's another one of those Monday night. Today we have, this is a guy who, like I said, I've already told him that I really appreciate his content. I think what he does is he's very informative, and he's actually very good for the guy who likes a team but just doesn't have as much time to watch the games. And you're like, what's going on? You click on this guy's channel. Not only do you know what's going on, you might even know what's happening next. Like, he really gives you some informative stuff. And the person I'm talking about is Mr. Noah Cahill from Clutch BBall TV.
Sir.
Thank you for joining us, Noah. We appreciate you, bro.
Welcome.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much for having me on. I love talking Knicks, and just thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you, man. And you know, I watch not just because obviously you're informative, but you're also a Knick fan, and I can see the passion. So it's great to you know be able to do this podcast because not only do I get to talk, you know, Knick sports, one of my brothers, I get to meet so many other people that are Knick fans like us and that love the team, and the Knicks are actually playing good. Because I would do this anyway if the Knicks were just the Knicks, but the Knicks are good.
So true.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times we get on the phone and we're just chatting back and forth about the Knicks game that we're either watching or just finished watching, and so it's become a kind of an extra, you know, a passion for us to talk about the Knicks, and now we become, you know, podcasters of our own and being able to share our thoughts with everyone is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, this is great.
So,
Yeah, man. So let me ask you, Noah. Uh, Clutch TV, Clutch BBall TV is like I said, it's very informative. And if you guys out there who you know haven't had a chance to you know go check him out, he's on YouTube. It's Clutch BBall TV. Um, you know, you can see some really good takes on what's going on with the Knicks. He has a nice way of breaking games down, and he's got good analysis of the players. So when did you start doing Clutch B-Ball TV?
well, again, thank you for the kind words. I really do appreciate it. Again, I'm happy to be here. It means the world. I love talking Knicks. But when I first started this channel, it was like the off season. Like I haven't been doing this channel for like 2 to 3 years. I actually had a channel before this. Like I made Giants and Knicks content. Like I was doing that channel for like 5 to 6 years since like I was in like sixth grade or something crazy like that. But I changed my
Wow.
content like so much and my name so much that I was like losing viewers. I was like, this channel's dead. Like I'm just gonna make a brand new channel. So the first year like that I happened to do the channel, the Knicks decided to be good. So I'm like, okay, so that's great because I would always talk like with my dad. I'm like, this is the year, like we're gonna make the playoffs. We're gonna make the playoffs. Like you always hear fans like, oh, this is the year
Right.
we're gonna win the championship. But because we've been so bad for
Right.
such a long time, we just want the damn playoffs. But I've been doing it for like a little over a year.
Oh, very
Oh,
nice.
well,
That's
nice.
awesome.
Well, listen, man. You know, it's a great channel, and I'm glad you decided to do that and streamline it. Sometimes that's the best. Sometimes you know we're all knowledgeable about different sports we love, but when you really sink in and start pinpointing something that you're really passionate about and you can focus on it, it becomes that much better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I love
So
the way you
thanks
recap
for doing that.
games. You know, I love the way he,
thank you.
you know, just kind of takes a breath and kind of recaps the games. You know, he'll go into the game by game sequences and like who's done well, who's struggling, who's, you know, who looks to who needs to work on their game a little bit. You know, I love that you have that sort of eye for, you know, the type of basketball that New York wants to play. You know, and I could see that you're you're really intuitive in your approach. Like you're really paying attention to the details, and that's important. You know, I know we spoke. I remember seeing maybe an episode or two ago that you talked about you know, Quentin Grimes and kind of the way he was playing. And unfortunately, at that moment, he wasn't
Yeah.
playing so well. But you know, as we see today, he's sort of turning it around. He's starting to figure it out. You know, so how do you feel about his progression in the last couple games?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know like some Knicks fans like the pick, some Knicks fans didn't, because like we're like, are we gonna pick in this draft? There was so much trading going down, like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
down in the draft. It was insane. But like I've heard his name there and there. Like apparently like Tibbs loved him. He transferred from Kansas. Things didn't really work out. So I was like, is this really a win now mode player? Because I watched him play. I'm like, his handle's not the best. He doesn't really have that burst as of right now. He's just a 3-and-D player, but it's been nice to see him progress. Like something I've noticed, his confidence definitely hasn't faded. Like he's not afraid to take shots,
Hmm.
but he could also get up in your jersey. I think that's what Tibbs really loves, like his competitiveness and just how mentally tough he is. Same thing with Miles McBride.
Yeah,
Right.
I would have
Right.
to agree with that.
Yeah. No, that's a really good take because I think that's what actually is the thing. You know, as Knick fans, obviously we see the team, we see what they struggled with, but I mean, say what you will, we're fans. but we don't do the analysis that a coaching staff does and these scouts do. Like they look at these guys and do tons of research on them, bring them in the workouts, talk to them, see what type of character they are, see if they fit the Knick mold. And obviously Quentin Grimes, you know, had something in him that they fell in love with, because he looks like, you know, compared to old Knick teams, we had a certain culture of guys. We just tried to get somebody who was explosive or could do certain things, but it's not like necessarily we drafted for high character or different. We just tried to get talent because, you know, I don't know if it was just me, but the Knicks didn't have. Yeah, we had a bad problem trying to acquire talent. So the fact that now they have the ability to get these guys that have talent and are high character guys, good locker room guys, it sets up for a really nice culture. And I think, you know, all in all, these Knicks are going to turn out to be one of them perennial teams. Listen, championship contender, all that stuff, we'll get there eventually. But just a team that can be around. If this team was just Portland right now, I'm happy, because Portland's always there. They're always in it. And they just need to be able to take, you know, more steps to get to that next level. And if the Knicks can be there and be on a faster track than Portland, even better. So,
yeah, you know, and you could say that about Portland, but as you see, the trajectory of Portland is going the opposite direction, and the Knicks are actually going the upward. And you know, in the next couple of years, we'll be in the mix. It's just a matter of time of when, you know, we can make either someone in our system takes another leap in their progression and makes us a solidified, you know, top 3, top 4 team, or you know, or we find someone in free agency who is willing to come in and take us to that next level. Again, I think both possibilities can happen, you know, and being coached by Coach Tibbs, I think the front office is doing an amazing job. They're keeping Dolan's not in the news, you know, like those are the things we want from our Knicks, you know, like allow the ownership to do what ownership does. Let them do their thing. Let the front office work their magic. And I think they finally figured out the right combination. You know, and hopefully we keep that combination going for at least a decade, because we've been missing that for quite some time. Yeah. So let's hope that sticks around for at least a decade.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And I'm just right now, I'm just giving a little update. Knicks are up 78-70. It's 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter on my end. I know I'm a little behind, but I'm just giving you what I see.
Right.
But yeah, man, this is one of those things where it's really exciting to witness these young guys. I mean, I think the Knicks have six guys that are under the age. They're 23 or under. So I mean, listen, that's and these guys are all talented. It's not like you got some guy on your team. Yeah, he's 21, but he can't play. I mean, these guys can all do something. Hopefully it translates in the NBA, but they all have some type of talent. So I'm really excited about this. Now, speaking of these young guys, you know, yes, do I like Grimes? I'm a big fan of Grimes. But the guy I'm falling in love with is Deuce McBride, man. This guy, the Deuce, man. The Deuce is loose. Oh, Grimes hits another 3. Like, yo, this is crazy. Anyway, yeah, man, it's nuts. Deuce is just killing it right now. Like, I thought, here's the funny thing about Deuce. When you look at him, what I saw in college for the highlights and what he's done, like in the first Summer League game, I was like, well, you know what? I look at this guy and I say he's a Marcus Smart type clone, plays that in-your-face defense, but I feel like he's a better offensive player than Marcus Smart. But, you know, even though I said that, I wasn't sold on it yet because obviously he hasn't played in the NBA yet, and we still can't be sold on it. This is still the Summer League.
Yeah.
But then he lights it up, and I'm like, oh, yo, maybe I was right. This kid could be, you know, he's special. Then he has a stinker. Then I'm like, okay, maybe I jumped out the window. Yeah, you know, I was sipping the Kool-Aid.
Know the ledge, Ron. Know the ledge.
Yo, then he lights it up again. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I was right. Maybe he's real. So I don't know. I just think that this guy, he's a young kid with a lot of fire and spunk, and he's mad that he got drafted where he got drafted, and he wants to show the rest of the NBA that they made a mistake. Um, I don't know what your take is, John. Let me know how you feel about it, bro, because I don't know. This kid, he's got me.
I just don't particularly know if it's the chip on the shoulder. I just think he has the pedigree. He has this sort of pedigree coming from a football background, like I said before, in a last episode and maybe the one before that. The pedigree of a football player and the aggressiveness of a football player is way different from someone who just was raised to play basketball. You know what I mean? So I think for a kid like that, he's going to bring it regardless of where he was picked. You know what I mean? And it just so happens to be he's gonna showcase his talent with New York, and there ain't no better stage to showcase that sort of talent. You know what I mean? Can you imagine a Marcus Smart if he was younger, coming to the Knicks? Like he would have been beloved. You know what I mean? And you see, he just got the bag from Boston. You know what I mean? So you need those kind of players. And I think Grimes is gonna just fit our mold, and he's just gonna get better. And like you said, he's probably a little bit ahead of Smart coming out of college with his offensive game. I think Smart right now is probably, a little better as a player, but you could see McBride coming to his own at some point, and that's why a lot of resemblance to like his game is like Marcus Smart or even a D Wade. You know what I mean? Coming out of college, it's like, he has that ability. Although D Wade may be a little bit more athletic or have more bounce to his game, but I think McBride, man, he brings it, man. Noah, what do you think about McBride?
I think he's an extremely unique player because when you look at, he's 6'2", 6'3", but he has a 6'8" wingspan. Like, you never really hear that at all. But the thing I think of, I think of mentally tough. He's a dog. He's not afraid of the big moment. Like, I remember when I made my video on him, like when he was drafted, the thumbnail was like built for New York. Like, he's literally built for New York. He like has this type of mentality that he wants to go at you, but he likes to get his teammates involved. He still knows when to make the right play. Like, I remember it was after Jericho Sims got a block, and I believe it was in transition. Miles McBride could have pulled the three, and then he threw the alley-oop up to Obi Toppin. But I love his aggressiveness. I love how he doesn't give up on a play. We have to wait and see how he really does, like, in a real NBA game, because we're comparing, or at least some Knicks fans were comparing, Kevin Knox to Kevin Durant in the Summer League. So we'll see what happens.
That is so true. That is so true. I remember that. Well,
right.
To his credit, though, he came off in the Summer League when he got to the league. To his credit, he had us fooled.
Yeah.
But I will say, because I'm one of those guys. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I watch these Summer League games. Like I look at these highlights over and over. I don't know. I swore I watched the Deuce McBride highlights like 6 times in a row. I don't know. I'm just like that. I watched that Kevin Knox Summer League a bunch of times, especially his biggest game, because it was nuts. And I think at that time it was Steve Mills and Scott Perry, and I don't know if it was Mills or Perry, but Kevin Knox hit a couple threes in a row, and then they put defense in his face. He came down, hit a three in the guy's face, and one of them was losing it on the sideline, and I just kept rewinding it because he was going nuts. So, but I will say that even during that time, Knox probably only finished with around 18 points or maybe 20 points.
Yeah.
He didn't go too crazy. These guys are putting up over 20, they're doing it easy. Especially what Grimes is doing right now is ridiculous. But
you got to give credit to Knox at that time. There was not as much talent around him either.
Right,
like
I agree. I just think that these two guys can score easily. Like what Knox was doing, it was just there was more of that. He's a streaky guy. When he's on, forget it. He just wasn't on that much with the Knicks.
Well, listen, that's coaching, right? That's also coaching and not being able to have the ability to showcase what you can potentially do. I think for Tibbs is a little different because he came in during COVID, during the pandemic, and you didn't have an opportunity to really practice with the team. And then he is not the strongest defender, You know what I'm saying? And once you're not the strongest defender, you're going to have to take a backseat to someone who is. And I think that's kind of why Knox fell out of the rotation. He got minutes from here, depending on who was injured from time to time, if they spot minutes, you know what I mean? But I think I don't know, man. Depending on how this year goes, maybe he'll get a second look if they don't trade him off. But because at that height is you can't teach height, you know what I mean? And he's got a good touch from the outside. It's just the rest of his game that lacks, Someone like Knox, though, when I look at his progression, is like, he's gonna get stronger. This without a doubt, he's gonna get stronger. He's a young kid. He's only 23, maybe 24 now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's only gonna get stronger. He's gonna get wiser. He's gonna understand the game better. If he takes it that serious, if he takes it serious, like they say, he's a gym rat. So if he really is a gym rat, then that means he's studying this offseason and trying to get stronger and better to try to prove something. Because coming into the season, everyone's looking at these young kids as, they're going to come in and automatically make the rotation. That's really not Tibbs' situation. Like, Tibbs makes you earn it. And if you're a young player with as much hype as these kids have right now, you're going to have to go into training camp, practice hard, and learn that playbook. If you don't know the playbook, guess what? Your minutes are going to get cut. If you don't know where you need to be in transition, your minutes are going to get cut. And that's what we seen happen to Knox last year. And even Frank. I mean, Frank got into it later in the season where he started, they started utilizing his abilities, but that's because he figured out where he needed to be, defensively and offensively, what spots they needed him to be in, and I think that's the key, knowing where you need to be good, have good study habits, and just play the type of unselfish basketball that Tibbs loves, you know what I mean? To see, he loves spacing, he likes rotation, he loves the pick and roll. So that's key.
Yeah. What do you think about Knox, Noah?
Knox, when we first drafted him, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty mad. I wanted Mikal Bridges at the time. I was like, we can never take the safe prospect. Like, we always need the guy who has potential. And I'm like,
yeah, you want the only one, man.
So
true.
We can't
So
develop
true.
anyone, so I guess he's gonna suck.
Yeah.
So in reality, the Knicks failed him, but he kind of failed himself as well because, like, I don't know, Knox has talent, but when I watch him play, after he misses one shot, he puts his head down. It's like he has no confidence at all. But, like, you need stability. You have to have a good developmental plan. This dude's 18 years old as a freshman. We know he has all the talent in the world, but I don't know. I thought the Knicks failed him, but I honestly think he's done. I don't see any future with Knox. But he has talent. Like, we see that he can shoot the ball, but he has work to do defensively. Like, his handle's loose. Like, a lot of people were saying, why is Knox just in the corner? Well, at this stage of his career, you don't want him putting the ball on the floor because you could just strip the ball from him, like, so easy. So, of course, he was going to be limited in the offense. But I still think he has enough talent, even if he doesn't work out here, that another team will, like, take a flyer on him.
Yeah. He still needs a lot of development, I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. And what's interesting, when you were saying the Summer League, after the Summer League, didn't he get the Puma deal because of his Summer League?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
It's so interesting how, you know what I mean? It's like, I think in his situation, being that he didn't have consistency in coaching, and I think the same goes for Frank. You didn't have that consistency in the type of coaching and the mentorship that they needed in order to learn basketball the right way. What they went from Phil Jackson to Hornacek to Derek Fisher. They went to all these guys, you know what I mean, who pretty much had different styles of coaching. There was no consistency there. And, it's and then to end their tenure, they had what's the guy's name? Fizdale, who's like, he's all about making friends. And then he was at some point making sure he kept his job. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, why are you making these guys like they're not your homeboys? You're the coach. You know what I mean? Like, there's part of it. You have to show some discipline. So I don't know, man. I think, but I agree with you, Noah, that we never go after the short thing. And I had the same conversation last year when I was like Halliburton or Toppin, and it's like, I mean, come on, you have to go for the short thing sometimes, and what you're missing, and we never pull the trigger there. Maybe there was plans. Maybe they knew all along that Derrick Rose, they wouldn't have an opportunity to, trade for Derrick Rose or make a move for Derrick Rose. Maybe that was already in the works. But again, as fans, we're looking at this team, and every lottery, even this year, we had our picks. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, you could get, you certain guys, and all of a sudden you're trading away these picks, and now we're like lost. Like, what's the plan?
Right.
But they're looking good so far, though. Like, to be honest, I didn't know anything. I mean, anything about Quentin Grimes. Absolutely nothing until after the draft, and we did our first,
Right.
draft podcast, and I was like, I gotta learn about this guy because I know nothing about him. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's just how it shakes out, and can't fault you there for that. Not a lot of people knew about Quentin Grimes. I only knew about him because I had started my kind of draft analysis or breakdown of like who might they get early. So, and he was just one of those guys that I was like, oh man, this guy, he looks like he lights out. Now, I'm not saying that may be the case all the time, but when I saw the highlights I saw, it was pretty good. And I like to look for those real highlights. Like, I'll try to watch the actual game highlight. I want to see the whole game. Not because I don't like seeing a mixtape of a guy who never misses. I mean, come on, he misses. So, but I was like, this guy, he got a pure shot, and his form, it does. I can see why they're giving him the comparisons. I'm not there yet. He does get the comparisons to Allen Houston, and they do have. But Allen Houston was pure, man. Like,
no, but
especially before he came. You don't see the shot, the form, like he's got like that perfect balance and a great release.
Look at Allen Houston's shot, and you look at Richard Jefferson's shot. Tell me who is he more similar to? To me, he's Richard Jefferson all the way.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
We'll see about his explosiveness. I seen him try to showcase that a little bit in the summer league. At least the last game, he missed a dunk, but like, hey, if he can build that to his arsenal. That is Richard Jefferson. And to be honest, Richard Jefferson is not a bad ball player to have when in his prime. You know what I mean? Like,
no, he was good. He was good.
Knockdown shooter, take it to the basket, can pass. I mean, with a team, you just got to put players around him,
Nope, I agree. And just a little update. This summer league game is over, folks. Knicks have proved victorious. Quentin Grimes finished with 26 points and 6 rebounds. Just another nice
player of the
stat
game.
line there. Yep. The score really doesn't matter. It was a blowout. And
it matters.
Grimes
it always matters.
It was a blowout. And Grimes and McBride and all these guys sat. So they played. A lot of the other guys you don't get to see too much in the summer league. But I tell you one thing. That guy Walker, I don't know where they got that guy Walker from, and I know he's got a training camp invite. That guy can ball, man. He plays tough defense, and he's got a nice shot. Yeah. He's what? This is what I'm talking about. Why does this happen now? Like when the Knicks couldn't get any guy who can shoot. Yeah, no, but okay. Look, this is what I'm talking about. I took a look at the Knicks roster yesterday, and as I was going down, I said, you know what? Let me play a little NBA 2K, put my own little team together. And as I was playing, I was like, how am I going to get these guys in the game? With everybody that you think is going to play, and then adding Grimes and McBride and trying to get Jericho Sims, we're talking 13 guys. There's no way. I don't know what they're going to do here.
But that's what I keep saying, and I don't know. I want to hear your take on this, Noah, about the regular season and coach. Knowing Coach Tibbs, right, and the amount of players that we just picked up off season, and the guys we brought back. How do you see this roster panning out in your opinion?
This roster is it's kind of constructed weird. Like we picked up Dwayne Bacon, and I was really confused. I was like, why did we sign Dwayne Bacon? That made no sense to me at all. But we all know Tibbs runs these shortened rotations and all that. So I'm like, where's Grimes' minutes gonna come into play? Like, how are they gonna utilize them because we have Fournier, we re-signed like Alec Burks, and I think Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose. Like before, like I was talking, I was like, oh gosh, like that just scares me. Derrick Rose getting all those minutes, but hopefully Derrick Rose and Kemba split those minutes because we know Kemba's knees are really bad at this point in his career. But obviously, it's low risk, high reward. If he doesn't work out, it's like we don't have to worry about trying to move on from a bad contract. But I think those guys are going to split minutes. Um, Mitchell Robinson, I still think he'll start because he brings us more offensively than Noel. Obviously, he's not like some 14-point per game guy, but he's definitely more of a threat than Noel. Like he has better hands, and Noel can't even catch the ball. Like to be honest, but
Somebody get him some stickum.
That's a fact.
It's going to be interesting to see how these guys are utilized, but like the thing I've just loved about Obi, like we can still nitpick some things that happen defensively, even though I think his defensive awareness has gone better. I think he'll definitely get more minutes. It's just amazing watching him in summer league because he actually looks confident. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but whenever Obi made a mistake in the regular season, you hear Tibbs say, "Obi!" Like he just screams at him like so much. So like Obi has like no
yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's important that we scream at these young kids. It's important. It builds character.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will say this. I didn't mean to cut you off, Noah. I was just going to say real quick that I think going back to John's point about why did we draft Obi and not Halliburton, you're right. Maybe they knew that Derrick Rose, there was a high chance that he was going to come to the Knicks later. But I think the bigger issue was we still didn't know what Julius Randle we were going to get. And if the Knicks had known that Julius was going to have a good, solid season, he had a great season. But I'm saying if they knew he was going to have a good, solid season, I don't think we would have took Obi. But sometimes things, don't work out in your favor. Yeah, but I'm happy we have Obi. Yeah, I'm happy we have Obi. I know you're still not sold on him, John, because you want to see more from him. But I'm telling you, what I'm seeing in the Summer League is making me feel a little better because it's not the jump shooting. Because the jump shooting, I think, when I watched him in Dayton, he hit some threes. He hit a good amount of threes, actually. Well, not a great three-point shooter, but a very, a good, solid shooter for a big guy. Mm-hmm. But it's the down low stuff, the little spin moves and taking it straight to the basket. I know these guys are his peers, so they're not that big themselves. But some of these guys, who have a little body on them, he is taking them straight to the rack. So that's good. It's good. It's good practice for him because he needs something. Like you always say, he's a straight up guy. He's very, he's not loose and he's stiff. Yeah. He needs to work on something and try to get aggressive to the rim. And he's got to continue to work on that. I don't like the fact that sometimes I see him going like he's going to slam dunk on 10 people. And it's always that thing. He
finesses it.
He gets to that point where he hits the defender and then he's coming back down with the ball. I would like him to stop doing that. If you're going to do that, you might as well just get to that point where you're going to hit the defender, pull up and hit a little baby jumper or something. You got to get yourself out of that mindset. If you're going to go up, you got to go up high and go over the guy or get the foul because he's not getting fouls either. He's just coming down.
Right. Because he's not playing to contact, right? He's playing to avoid contact. And that's the difference with Obi's game. He has enough talent to attack the basket as if he's trying to draw the foul. You know what I mean? And actually trying to make the shot too. Sometimes he gets to the paint and then he tries to finesse it when you don't necessarily need to finesse it. You know what I mean? Like you just got to go up like Dominique and you know what I mean? And attack the rim. I mean, you have the athletic ability, you have the hops. One thing you can see that in this game is when they're in fast break. When he's in a fast break tempo and he's running up in court, like he knows how to fill the lane. And that's the kind of Obi you want to see when it's a half-court game, right? When you're taking him off of a pick or roll or if he's coming off of a screen and diving to the basket and getting a pass, like you want to see that sort of Obi, that's similar to what he does in the fast break, I think it's going to take some time. I think it's going to take some Coach Tibbs continually screaming at him, you know what I mean? Getting him to pay attention and do things the way he's supposed to do it. It's important, man. I think we, you know, that's the one thing we're not going to get with a Knicks team. You're not going to get a coddled Knicks team. You're not going to get that anymore. That was Fizdale. You know what I mean? You're not going to get that with Coach Tibbs. He's gonna call it what like it is. You know, he's gonna be a straight shooter with the kids. And I'll say this, and I'll talk about the roster in the sense that we get Tibbs guys, right? And you look at Leon Rose, he's done a great job of putting together a team where he knows Tibbs is going to look at, you know, who's going to play a strong, you know, 30 minutes if I need him to play a strong 30 minutes. Like he wants to work these guys. He wants to make sure that they're physically ready to take on big moments. So he's going to want them prepared, want them in shape. And if you ain't there and you're not ready, guess what? You're not playing for these Knicks. You know what I mean? And that's the bottom line. Whether you're young or whether you're old, he's not going to favor that. What he's going to favor are guys who has proven to him that they have the pedigree to win. A Derrick Rose, for instance, a Taj Gibson, for instance, right? These guys are Tibbs guys because they've proven it, they've shown it over the years, and he becomes loyal to those type of players. And I could potentially see them becoming coaches after this all said and done under Coach Tibbs, you know, or under someone that, you know, admires, you know, Coach Tibbs and allows for Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson to take a seat at the, you know, as a coach, you know. But I could see like a Bacon move. This Bacon move, I could see him potentially taking Obi minutes, to be honest. You know, the reality is that this kid can shoot and he can drive and he's strong. He's a strong defender. That's the reality. Now, Obi Toppin is going to have to prove himself against that sort of competition at practice. And at that point is where you're going to notice what Coach Tibbs is saying. He's going to give these kids an opportunity to learn and develop. He said it all along. He said, I'm going to make sure the kids learn and develop, whether that's in the G League or whether that's here with us. But he's not going to shy away from it. He's not going to just play a guy because, you know, he's a rookie or he's a top pick. He's going to play the guys who he feels going to give them the best chance and opportunity to win games. And if that means we're going into the – I could potentially see this. Starting point guard, you know, in my opinion, it's going to end up becoming it's not going to be Derrick Rose. It's definitely going to be Kemba Walker. At the 2, I'm expecting to see either RJ or Fournier, right? They're kind of interchangeable when you talk about their size and ability, right? Although Fournier is the better shooter, he's a better playmaker. So I may even see him at the 3 wing, you know, just because he may have a little bit more size. And I can see, like I said, Barrett, Fournier, Randall, because Randall has become the automatic now. He's become our Batman of sorts, right? And then you have a Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? And although Noel's got a bigger contract, I think his versatility to come off the bench and his high, because he's got high energy. You need a guy like that off the bench to come in the game with a Derrick Rose who's quickly who's going to bring high energy. You know what I mean? So those are the safe bets. You know what I mean? Burks, safe bet. You know, I could see, you know, quickly as a safe bet, Rose as a safe bet, Noel as a safe bet. That last guy, that number 10 guy, that number 8 guy off the bench, hey, that's a free for all. That's who's going to play better and who's going to show what they can potentially do in practice. You know what I mean? And who's learning, who's following the playbooks. You know, who knows it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you think that I mean, I know you're still very iffy on the whole Dwayne Bacon signing, but I don't think that, you know, I really don't think it's more, you know, anything more than a depth move. Depth. I hate that word. Depth move. Yeah. But I think that it also is kind of going towards what you were saying, John, that, you know, by bringing Bacon into camp, that's going to push Obi.
Easy.
And that's the whole thing. I think Tibbs likes Obi. I think he wants Obi to succeed, but he's not going to you're not going to succeed if you play the way you played last year. You're going to have to take this to the next level.
And I think Tibbs likes Bacon too. I don't think that a Leon Rose.
Well, who
makes
doesn't
that
like
move.
Bacon?
No, man. There you go. And I don't think I don't think a Leon Rose makes that move without Coach Tibbs' decision, right? Like I don't think that's just it's a play there. I'm gonna bring a guy in, play for your spot, play for your minutes, because you're not just gonna get it just by thinking that you're a top pick. You know what I mean? And I think that's the crazy part when you look at the roster. And remember, it's an 82 game season. You're gonna have your opportunities. People are gonna get injured. People are gonna get sick depending on the pandemic and this variant. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of time. You're gonna get an opportunity. Are you ready for that opportunity when you get it? You know what I mean? And I won't say change your lineup in 2K until the mid-season. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna play those Tibbs guys until mid-season, and then you'll see what happens, who's injured, who isn't. You know what I mean? Because the reality is he likes his veterans, man. He wants to win.
He does.
He may use and quickly has proven himself. So now, you think about his loyalty to guys who've proven themselves, So for me, unless quickly goes on a streak where he's like doing what's the kid's name? A Rivers, sighting where he's like Austin Rivers was hot in the beginning, then just came out of favor, was not really, doing well. That could potentially happen quickly too. You know what I mean? So there's going to be growing pains there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be very interesting. So, I mean, if that is the case, Noah, if Tibbs brought Bacon in, because Bacon can be a contributor. He contributed to Orlando. I mean, he averaged 11 points last year, but also someone that could push Obi. Do you think that's enough with what you've seen from the summer league so far? Well, it's summer league's over. With what you've seen from the summer league, and with the notion that this training camp is going to be about developing him on the other end of the basketball court, like the defensive end. Because I will say that I think Obi plays good team defense. Maybe not that great one-on-one, but good team defense. So do you think that this is going to, propel him to taking that next step?
I feel like he has to, especially because he was like he was like an older prospect coming out. He was supposed to be like NBA ready. I know a lot of people say like Obi wasn't good. Like I wasn't that high on Obi last year. I'm not going to lie. He frustrated me a lot, taking a lot of threes, but he only played like 9 to 10 minutes per game, if we're being real. But if Dwayne Bacon gets minutes over him, at that point we should just trade him. Like that was a waste of a pick. Dwayne Bacon, he averaged 11 points, but you have to take it with a grain of salt. He was on the Magic. Many players were getting opportunities, and I feel like he's kind of like a potential offensive guy. Like he had nights that he put up a lot of points, and then he had nights like he wasn't aggressive
against us.
Yeah, exactly, against us. Terrence Ross too always kills us. But I feel like Obi has to take. Yeah, I feel like Obi has to take that leap, especially because when it comes playoff time, we need Randall to have some rest. I know Tibbs loves playing his starters a lot of minutes, but we can't afford for him to be gassed in the playoffs. I'm not saying that was the reason we lost because Randall was tired, but you need him to definitely not be as tired when it comes playoff time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of questions for this Knicks team. I know, even though I'm a little frustrated at I don't know how these guys are all going to play. I'm excited at the fact that they have this type of dilemma, these type of options. Because let's
it's a good
call it what it was.
Have,
we
man.
thought it's a good problem to have, but we kind of thought we had that problem last year too. At some point, we were like, "Wow, so we got these guys." No, I mean not in the same way. This year is definitely different. But last year we thought we were deep. We thought we had size at all the guard positions. We had Bullock, we had Burks, we thought we had something that was going to bother the rest of the league. And honestly, it did.
We made it further than people thought we would, to be honest. So
correct. But then some guys fizzled out. Ntilikina fizzled out, Knox fizzled out, and Payton fizzled out.
But that's Tibbs. He's playing 8 guys. He's not going to play more. He may go 10. depending on the situation, he may go 10, but he's going to generally go 8. So he's going to push those guys in practice. If you don't show up in practice, to Iverson's point, talking about practice here, that's the Tibbs mentality. You're going to practice, and if you practice hard and you play the right way, and you understand the game and his system on how he likes to run it, those are the guys who are going to get minutes, man. So for me, I'm not delusional. I'm not looking at these kids thinking that they're going to have heavy minutes. They may play heavy minutes depending on the situation. You know what I mean? I could see Jericho Sims getting an opportunity at times when you want to rest a Randall and you want to play big. You can play Sims at the 5 or the 4. You know what I mean? And same thing with Noel. You can play him at the 5 and the 4. So you can always go big with Mitch. So I think we have more variety now than we did before. Where before we were super light in the center position. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the kind of depth. We were forced to use Taj, who played well. Like amazingly well for his age and for his size at the center position, right? And so you got to give credit where credit is due. He kind of did more than what was expected of him. You know what I mean? And I think it's deservedly so. He's still here with us, and he's going to take more of that mentorship role, I think, this coming year. But I don't expect Tosh to play, this year unless something unforeseen happens. You know what I mean? But I do see, Tibbs going with a roster of guys. Let's say a Bacon. And for some weird reason, I feel like Bacon is a guy, even though he hasn't really shown it, he has the ability to do a little bit of everything, right? So that means he's not going to start, but coming off the bench, he's not going to be a liability. And that's the biggest thing when I look at Bacon. He knows how to play the game. He's going to play defense. He's going to be a strong defensive player. He has the size. He rebounds really well. You know what I mean? And so if you need to take away some minutes or give Fournier some minutes or give Randall some minutes, hey, Bacon might be that guy. And we may all just end up falling in love with the guy as a 3-and-D guy, to be honest.
It could happen. I just, the way I looked at that team and how many guys they got, I don't see. I see Bacon as a talented Theo Pinson. I see Bacon as a talented Theo Pinson.
That's totally
I know he's better than him.
No, but that's
he's better than him. Weird. But I just don't see where he's going to get the minutes because I just don't think. I think Obi's taking the next step. I think that. Now, if I wasn't thinking that, then you're right. I think Dwayne Bacon's going to steal his. I was about to say Kevin Bacon. 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Footloose.
Yeah, I don't look. This is what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to have Kemba, Fournier, Barrett. They'll switch those two. I don't know if Barrett's going to be the small forward or Fournier is going to be the small forward. Whatever. I think you're going to see Randall, and I think you're going to see Noel at the center starting. I would put Mitch there, but I think Noel's going to be the starting center
because he's
got then off contract. The bench, correct. And I also think that he's shown more than Mitch right now. Like if Mitch comes in,
totally true.
But Mitch was hurt. Mitch was hurt.
But when Mitch wasn't hurt, he played better minutes than Noel did.
No. Mitch didn't get. Mitch don't get double-digit rebounds, and he don't equal the amount of blocks that Noel's getting right now, or was getting.
You're talking. You take the same amount of games and you average them up. I guarantee you, he's a better offensive threat.
No, I think he can. Because don't get me wrong. Yeah, no, I believe that because
same
the game
amount of
right
minutes.
before Mitch got hurt.
What he played. Yeah, exactly. I was just about. Yeah,
the game right before Mitch got hurt, he got busy. Yeah, I think he had double digits. He on
and energy was rebound. Right. He was at where he needed to be defensively. He was guarding guards. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I
think he's going to have to. I think him and Tibbs don't have a love affair, and I think he's going to have to show Tibbs that he can do that first before Tibbs will think about switching that. But I don't mind it. I like the fact of having Mitch off the bench as the center, the explosiveness there with Derrick Rose, with Quickly, with that's what we got to see what they're going to do with that second unit. But I think Obi's going to be out there, and then it's going to be one of those Burks / Grimes thing. I think honestly, I think the odd man out of this equation is Deuce. I think Deuce is going to have to take a back seat to Quickly, unless Quickly falters or there's matchups where Quickly is not the answer and they want to go different with defense with Deuce. That's how he'll get into the game. But I think Deuce is going to be on the bench a lot.
Let me
I just don't,
I currently think all three guys are going to be on the bench a lot. I think Obi's going to be on the bench a lot. Just in my opinion, because what is Obi making contract wise? What is he making? He's making the minimum,
like $4 million, rookie, not even
rookie contract. What is Bacon making? What kind of bacon is Bacon?
Bacon's making bacon.
He got he's got a 2-year contract, doesn't he? With the Knicks, I think he signed a 2-year contract, right? So whatever that's for, there's a possibility. Remember, it's two things in my opinion. It's not necessarily the hype. It's more about, and especially for Tibbs, it's about your contract and what you bring to the table. You have a 2-year contract with us. If you're feasible and you're not going to turn over the ball and you're going to make the right decision, he's going to play that guy over a Toppin who's going to be learning the game still. He's still learning the game. He's super raw. You know what I mean? When you put them side by side, you look at a kid who's super raw and you look at a guy, right? Because I'm not saying a kid. He's a guy who's, how old is he? Let me find out how old this kid is. Bacon. Bacon. Because Toppin's 26, right? 20. So they're about the same age then. They're roughly around the same age. Think about the development. Who's better at their game right now? Toppin could potentially be better overall later but right now developmental, Bacon's better. This is without a doubt he's a better player. So it's just, for me, it's like and I agree with you, Noah. If he doesn't find a way to find minutes, I think he's tradable because there's so much upside. You know what I mean? And this summer league showcases his upside. So there could be a potential trade in the works that could potentially include Bacon as well. You know what I mean? So,
I think there's a lot of guys who are tradable.
Yeah,
a lot of guys.
It's opportunity,
and I think
it's opportunity.
I don't think the Knicks are going to do. There's so much swirling around right now with the Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox for Miles Turner, which we know can't work because of the money. Like the money, you could put those two guys together, and we still have to come up with another $10 million. So this doesn't work. So that means that the Knicks have to at least wait until, I think they said November or December, when they're able to move the guys that they just signed. So what I think the first 20 games of this season is going to determine what the Knicks do. If Mitchell Robinson, if Obi doesn't look like he's got it going in those first 20, if Mitch gets off and he's struggling or he gets hurt, God forbid, all that stuff is going to shake out. And then from that, the Knicks are going to make a move, because I think the Knicks know they got a little too much going on right now. I mean, it's great to have this, but you got like 15 guys who can play. So there's too many guys.
But that's the problem that most teams have nowadays. You look at the Warriors. They got almost their whole roster can play. You look at the Atlanta Hawks, what they just did. Their entire roster could play.
Yeah.
Everyone's deep.
I know. But this is Tibbs. Deep. This is Tibbs. That's why I'm saying if it was somebody else, this is Tibbs.
Right, but what I'm saying to you, what I'm trying to get at is that because Tibbs is the way he is, those kids may not have another opportunity to show what they can do in the NBA level. They had their showcase in Summer League. That was their showcase. Now, in the regular season, we may not even see those guys come in. We may see them play 1 or 2 minutes, if that. Yeah. You know, I'll be really surprised if I see Obi come off the bench and play 10 to 15 minutes again. With this roster the way it's put together, I'll be surprised. It would really surprise me, man. I just think that there's opportunity there, and if the Knicks see it coming, they'll pull the trigger on some of these moves if there's opportunity there. You know what I mean? Because knowing Tibbs and knowing that front office now, seeing them, they're like, well, we can minimize the roster because we're not going to go fully. We're not going to go 10, 12 deep. So they can, maximize the potential for a player, whomever that may
Mhm.
be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if the money works,
Well, I think you may be right about that. Look, this is a real guessing game right now, man. We're just hoping. I mean, that it works out, and I think that's the good thing about having so much talent. I don't think Tibbs is going to squander it. Somehow, if you're balling in practice, you're going to be on the court, and hopefully, you're balling on the court. And he's going to have a quick yank because last year he was yanking Obi out of there, man. He was like, "Come on, Obi, let's talk." So I think that'll be the same way this year, and he's got even more weapons to choose from. So yeah, he's going to be yanking guys out of there. He's going to be relying. I hope he doesn't get too crazy though, because I'm a little scared about Tibbs. I think he could get vet reliant again. He could start going crazy with Rose, crazy with Kemba, crazy with Fournier, and crazy with Randall. Which, I mean, we're going to win some ball games with these guys. But you don't want him to forget the rookies. You want to try to make it a good incorporation of talent. We'll see.
You really believe he's going rookies, huh? You really feel in your mind he's going, after all we know about Tibbs, you really think he's going to give these kids an opportunity?
No, what I think is, Grimes is definitely going to get some minutes because, Bullock is gone. No, Bullock is gone. So they got to figure out somebody to replace that.
Burks. You have Burks.
Yeah, Burks was there last year though, and you still needed Bullock.
But you have Fournier, Burks, Barrett.
Damn it! I keep forgetting we got Fournier. Like Fournier is, yeah, you're right.
There's
you
no
make a good
way
point.
that Grimes plays. There's no
all
way.
Right, but I do think I know that you're right. I know you're right. I just feel like he wants to get these guys in there. But Deuce is his dude. He loves Deuce, but I don't see how Deuce is going to play behind Quick. You talking about Kemba, Rose, Quickly? Where's Deuce going to play?
And
I
Burks,
don't know.
And Barrett.
Because
that's the 1-2 spots.
Yeah, and we don't even know if like the coaching staff looks at Quickly as a true point guard. Like he played a lot of two last year as well, so
it's true.
We don't even know at all. It's confusing.
Yep. It's like I said. It's gonna. I think the persons the guys' minutes that are on the line, in my opinion, are Quickly. Right, it's gonna be Quickly and Obi or Bacon's to lose. Right, those are the guys who are gonna. Those are the interchangeable guys. Right? Because right now we don't know where they land. But between those three guys, Bacon, Obi, and Quickly, if those guys don't get minutes, it's going to be one or the other. You know what I mean? They're the ones who lose their minutes. No one else loses their minutes. Yeah. You're not taking Randall off the shelf. You're not like Randall got his 30, 34 minutes a game. You already know that. You know Barrett's going to play 30 to 34 minutes a game. You know Kemba's going to play as many minutes as he can possibly give him and share minutes with Rose. You already know that. Like, I don't understand. As Knicks
I know. I don't want to face it.
What? It's the reality.
I don't want to face it.
We're gonna win games, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's right, Noah. I know he's right. I don't want to face it. I want to see all these guys, but I know he's right. I get it. I know. Well, I just wanted to take a minute to hit up the chat real quick. We got some people in the chat. Big shout out to Cornelius Thomas, friend of the show. Andre Jackson, Edwin Torres Jr., Delano Steele Jr. What up, bro? I'm sorry, Delano Steele Jr. Yeah, I think I said that correctly. Iceberg the Gamer is up in here. Just wanted to say what's up to everybody. And there's a couple questions or a couple little hot takes in here. Edwin Torres Jr. said Knox needs to be traded point blank. All right, tell us how you really feel, Edwin.
Who are we gonna get for him? Okay, though, right? Like this.
I mean,
can't get nothing for him.
No, I
not even. I
want him to be traded because I just want him to be traded because I want him to have a shot somewhere else. He's not gonna get it here. That's what I think.
But he's not a commodity. So why trade him? He's not making any money.
Maybe a team like the Thunder would take like a flyer on him or something. I feel like he has to go to a smaller market. I don't feel like he's built for New York at all.
But what do you get from him?
No, I think
you got a second rounder.
I feel the same way.
A
Yeah,
second
second
rounder,
rounder.
late second rounder. Yeah, because that's all he's going
We
to be
got
worth at
we got
this point.
we got McBride in
McBride,
the
right?
second round. Why not?
I
Yeah.
agree. Why not? Hey, if you're gonna move him, might as well get some for him. I agree, but I don't think we're gonna get like I be seeing some ridiculous tweets and stuff. People be like, we could trade Knox and package him with someone else for like a star. I'm like, what are you crazy? Like, how does what? Like, where in the right mind would you think a team is gonna do that? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I don't. Some Knicks fans drive me insane.
That's fans, man.
I'm
You know
like,
how
what?
fans put together these crazy trades. Yeah.
Don't get it.
Listen, I'm gonna give you Knox and all right. I don't want to get rid of Toppin, but if I gotta get rid of, we'll get Damian Lillard. Those two will do
Yeah.
it. I mean,
No
come
way,
on, man.
right?
It
doesn't even
What's
happen
going
in-
on here?
That type of theory or that doesn't even work in fantasy sports. You can't
That
even
trade
make
gets
that trade.
rejected
You kidding
in 2K. It's not going to happen. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to
Exactly.
do? We also got a couple things here. Cornelius Thomas says he thinks the Knicks are going to struggle getting people minutes. It's probably true.
Possibly.
It just is what it is. You're gonna whoever, and you know Tibbs is gonna hot hand guys too. You got the hot hand, you ain't coming out the game, so
You already
it's
know.
gonna be tough, man. It's
And
gonna
I'm
be
not
wild.
gonna blame him for it. I'm not gonna be mad at that. I want the hot hand to stay on the court. To be honest, I don't want to see
Yeah.
Randall going off and all of a sudden he's gonna take a back seat to Toppin. Are you kidding me? Come on,
Yeah,
son.
right.
Like,
No, I
stop.
hear you.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, you get him some rest, but he better be back in that game. He better be resting for 5 or 6 minutes, put him right back in there.
Yeah.
He better not lose that hot hand, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, okay, I see you. Delano Steele says he also said what's up to you too, Noah.
What's up, Delano?
He did say Bacon is better than who because he thinks that he wasn't highly coveted in free agency, so he doesn't want you capping for Dwayne Bacon, John. Just letting you know,
Hey,
Bacon may be an upgrade over Theo Pinson. I like saying it like that. Theo Pinson.
Folks
I
might
don't
be
know.
sleeping on Bacon, man. I'm telling you. They're sleeping on his skill level.
No,
He is go ahead, Noah.
no shots at Bacon, but he got waived by the Magic. That
Right.
that's just not
It's
good
true.
at all.
Yeah, it's true. They're a rebuilding team. They don't have many stars over there, and to get waived, it's an interesting look. But if they're in rebuilding mode and they're really cleaning house, he's making some
Yeah.
money, so it's time to move on.
Right. You move him because of the contract that he has, and now he signed a 2-year contract with the Knicks. The 2-year contract, it doesn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? I just
Right.
don't.
Yeah,
You put him side by side with Toppin. I keep saying it because that's what's going to happen. There's no one else in that area is going to face that. It's not going to be Noel. Noel's not going to struggle for minutes. Noel's going to get his minutes. It's Toppin or Bacon. Who do you choose? Contract to contract, they pretty much make the same amount of money. It's just what it is.
yeah.
You know, who's gonna pay attention to the details? Who's gonna play a better? I hope it's Toppin. To be honest, like I'm not even vying for Bacon like that. I really do hope it's Toppin. I just don't see it in his game right now. He's too mechanical.
Yeah.
He's way too mechanical at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you still have a point. Toppin still, even though he's shown a lot of growth in this summer league. He's been aggressive. He's put up some numbers, some points, and his 3-point shooting looks like it's okay. I still gotta wait and see.
Okay.
I gotta see what's gonna happen. I gotta wait. You know what it is? Because this is good because it's actually playing against somebody, right? Because what I don't like, I hate for the life of me as a Knicks fan, I hate seeing these workout videos. Frank Ntilikina looked like he was going to be Michael Jordan in one of these workout videos. I don't want to see any of those workout videos. Summer League, I'll work with that because there's a defender in your face. And Obi's shot has looked pretty good. Even me, I go back and forth with Cornelius Thomas, the prophet, because he's always killing Obi. I said, look, man, Obi dropped like 3 threes the other day. He dropped 4 threes the other day. Like, Obi's shooting. So, look. Let's just wait and see what happens. I'm gonna get off the Obi train right now. We'll move on, but I feel like this is going to be the year, man. And this is put up or shut up.
That's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Like you can't go like. I look at it like this. If Obi has a standout start of the season and gets the minutes, then that's great because we know we're gonna be able to get someone to relieve Randall and take minutes off of Randall, which is amazing. How many minutes that will be, who knows? It's all depending on how Tibbs wants to play it out. But at the end of the day, if it ain't Toppin, it's going to be somebody else. It could be Knox. You know what I mean? Like who? Like it could be Knox.
Still could be Knox.
Who knows? It's true. It still could be Knox. Like, but there's no real guarantee for that last. That's a number 7-8 rotation guy. Let's call it what it is. It's not a 6-man.
Yeah.
It's a 7 to 8 guy. It could be anyone. As long as they're providing good, substantial minutes and giving someone a rest, that's all I want. Come in, play your game. Yeah. Do not turn over the ball and play some damn defense. That's all I want from a guy who's coming off the bench in 7 to 8. Hey, shit, I was always the 7th and 8th guy coming off the bench. You know what I mean? It's what it is. You play your role. You know?
Yep. No. I hear you. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. It's definitely going to be a dilemma. It's a good dilemma to have. And as Knicks fans, we should all be happy that we're talking about a team that's going to be competitive. The league is on notice. Last year, we won 41 games. We're the 4th seed. We made it to the playoffs. Yeah, we got knocked out by Atlanta because Atlanta had a strategy for us. They took Julius away, and they let us shoot, and we couldn't shoot. Well, this year we shooting. I'm telling you right now, if they ain't shooting, I'm shooting. Wait,
listen,
sorry,
I can't get away from that trio. That trio is going to be amazing to watch. You tell me, Noah, what do you think about the Fournier Kemba connection? And now you just add in, the combination of a Burks in there from time to time. What do you think about that kind of? You know what I mean? You're going to see that, play out.
I think it's huge. Yeah, I think it's huge. Like obviously we struggled shooting the ball, but I don't even think it was just that. We struggled to create shots. Like, I appreciate what Reggie Bullock did, like, especially in the second half of the season. He is a better defender than Fournier, but Bullock, like, if freaking Trae Young was guarding him on the perimeter, we would never see Bullock take it to the basket ever. I feel like Fournier brings more versatility to the offense. We know Kemba Walker can create, and then you have Derrick Rose come off the bench or however they're going to do it. I think it's huge to have shot creators because notice when we closed out games down the stretch, Randall had his moments, but then there was some moments that we would always give the ball to Randall and he would miss a million game winners, but it's whatever. Mm-hmm. So
and about Burks, how about Burks at the end of games? There were moments there where Burks took over games at the end.
Yeah, Derrick Rose too. That was huge. But shot creators, I think that's a big thing to have for sure.
No, I agree. Well, I mean, listen, we'll see what happens. We hope for the best. Like I said, this is definitely a promising time for us as Knicks fans, and I can't wait for. I've never really been excited for preseason, but I'm excited for preseason now because I just know it's Knicks basketball. I just want to see what they do. And listen. Not for nothing, but that last preseason, Knicks did pretty good in the preseason, and it kind of carried over into the regular season because it made them feel confident. They beat up on a couple teams in that preseason, and I think it helped with their confidence. This year, I think not so much because I think they know that they belong, Yeah. But I just hope that it continues because the East is better. Everybody keeps saying it. It's obvious. The East is better, and the Knicks have to kind of follow that trend of continuing to improve as well.
I'm just happy we got veteran presence, man. I really am, because I agree. There's no way you can teach kids to be up for every game, right? It takes a professional, someone who's been there and done that, to know how to, build your body right and expose your body to the right type of things in order to be in, game out, there's a rookie wall for a reason. You know what I mean? And there's that 2-year slump for a reason. That's real. These guys with Kemba and Fournier, and now with Randall really solidifying himself, you're gonna get the best sort of Knicks. You know what I mean? Team wise, experience, good shooting, good rotation. You're gonna get it all, and it's gonna be amazing to see because we haven't had that since the Camby era, right? Like Camby, Spree, and like we've really haven't had that since then. So
If you're talking about the combination of a good basketball and youth, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll definitely see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to it. Noah, is there anything you got going on the horizon that maybe you want to tell the people about?
Nothing special at all. You could check out my channel if you want. It's Clutch BBall TV, and I'm just very happy to be on this channel for sure. It's been a lot of fun. And another thing that I wanted to bring up, not that we just have shot creators. I feel like Randall, his numbers are gonna take a dip, but I think he's gonna become a smarter player because he's gonna realize he doesn't have to isolate crazy because he has other guys that can create. I don't think RJ is gonna take a huge leap like some people think, but I do think he's going to create off the dribble more, and having guys like Fournier and Kemba and like Randall won't always have to be relied upon to close out games as well, because Kemba's like really shown that he can close out games. You could say Fournier's kind of at the prime of his career. He could really shoot the ball, but just having consistent shooting and consistent shot creation, I think should be huge for Randall to really take pressure off of him.
Right. No,
That's
I agree.
amazing points.
Yeah, no,
Listen,
I think
we bring some
that's
knowledgeable people on this show. I tell you that.
Yeah,
that's a nice breakdown.
That's what we want. That's what we love, man. We love to bring people on here that love the Knicks, but that have something to say about them. And John said it best, man. Those are great points. And once again, I'm glad that we're able to get you on, Noah, and we would love to have you back. You are definitely always welcome. And if anything's ever going on and you need us for whatever reason, we are here. So yeah, hopefully we can build on this relationship. And while that's happening, we can get something cracking with these Knicks. That pretty soon the rest of the league starts talking about, oh, you're a Knick fan too. Not you're a Knick fan.
That was my entire last year. They were like, "Oh, you got a Knicks podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, it was just fun. We're just doing it." And they're like, "Oh my God, you picked the best time." I was like, "Yeah, I believe it." Like we literally started the first game of the season. We were like, "We're gonna do that first week, and do recaps week to week." And it was an amazing ride to be a part of, and this is gonna be fun as we move forward. This is. And it's an amazing thing that we're seeing. I couldn't believe that we're witnessing the actual transformation of our Knicks. Like, it's great to be a part of.
And this is a nice transformation, not okay. We went out and acquired all these superstar talents, and the team's better. No, we got
older talent.
Right? Like, old, ARP guys. Yeah. No, we got some youth. This is good. Yeah. Well. Like I said, thanks again, Noah, for being here. As he said, you can catch him at Clutch BBall TV on YouTube, or hit him up on Twitter at Clutch BBall TV, and he's also on Instagram as well. I'll put his handles down, when the podcast is over. But thank you for being here. We appreciate having you. Look to have you again in the future.
This was
no
fun.
problem.
John,
thanks for having me on.
Yeah. No, definitely. Thank you for being here, John. As always, it's always a pleasure to chop it up with you, talking b-ball.
Absolutely.
Thank you to everybody who came out and watched the show. All our viewers, people in the chat, thanks for showing up. I know today was a little tough because the Knicks were actually playing a summer league game right while we're filming the podcast, but we appreciate you tuning in anyway. And thank you. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend who tells another friend.
That's right. Check us out. Hit us up if you got any comments or any ideas for upcoming shows. Email us at stillnickfans@gmail.com, right? Get that right? I think we got that right. All right.
Yep. You did get it right.
And yeah, man, thank you all for tuning in. And again, shout outs to Jose on the ones and twos on the backdrop. doing his thing. And, super thankful to having Noah today. That was a blessing. And yeah, I think we just could keep moving on, looking for more Knicks fans. Come reach out to us and try to come on and enjoy this time with us. It would be great to have you on.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
It's a litmus test just to see who's best. Roll the dice, break the pipe, and let's see who's next. Ron and Jon on the mic talking New York Knicks.